who is also going to instruct you on some aspects of the ERP. ERP means the Engineering Research Project. Now, I hope all of you who have joined here are registered for the CVY 7880. That is the Engineering Research Project. If there are any others, please let me know. Okay, right. Now, I know that you might have seen the activity schedule for this course. And you had on last month, on the 26th of May, you had the discussion with the dean. And due to a technical fault, we could not connect you with the head and the other staff on that same day. So that is why we are holding that presentation or that discussion today with you over Zoom. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
Okay, right. At the discussion on 26th with the dean, he would have indicated the general guidelines along which you have to do this engineering research project. Now, also please note that this engineering research project is a deviation from our final project that we had up to the last year in our program, and this is a new project that we have introduced in the revised curriculum for civil engineering as well as other disciplines also, to take into account your individual contribution. Now, earlier it was a group project, and this is going to be an individual project. Your individual contribution into engineering research. So there are two things that have changed from the older project. One thing is it changed from a group project to an individual project. Number two, earlier project was a final project. It need not be a research project, but now it very specifically says that it is an engineering research project. So there should be engineering research input or engineering research finding from your study. Okay. Okay. Now I think with that clarity, I will start this discussion. Right. So I think in common with the previous projects that the students did in the past years, you have to find you have to find a supervisor from our academic staff to supervise or to agree to guide you in the conduct of this project, right? So last year means the last academic year, that is 2021-2022. So don't make any mistake about that. The last academic year was 2021-2022. The academic year now we have started is 2022-2023. Right? So when I say last academic year, I am referring to 2021-2022. So in the last academic year, we initially introduced this engineering research project, and some close to about 90 students enrolled and continued that project. And the final evaluations of some of these projects are going on even at this moment. Okay, so you are not the first or the pioneering group of this engineering research project, but now we are going to get from this year onwards, this engineering research project would be more streamlined and standardized. So there are a few considerations that I have to tell you. Later, when the LMS is up and running with your accesses all built in, then you can get my documentation indicating all these requirements. Now that documentation at the moment, I am only telling you verbally. Later, it will come in in document version in the LMS. LMS is the Moodle. So your CVY 7880, there will be a Moodle class CVY 7880 2022. It goes as 2022. Normally, when we call an academic year, we call it with 2 years indicated. But when we are calling it in terms of only 1 year, we tell the first year only. So 2022 means it's the academic year 2022, 2023. Am I clear up to now? Okay, now,
Yes.
okay, right. So now I think the first task in this engineering research project is for you to identify a possible research topic for you. That is in civil engineering. You have learned so many aspects of civil engineering during your course of study for the degree program. And in any one or any combination of these, you can select your topic. So you might select it in structures, you might select it in hydraulics, water, environmental, uh, geotechnical, highway, all so many areas are there. Right? So first of all, you must get into your an idea what type of project you are intending to do. Now, mind you, this is going to be a research project. You have to find something out of this, the conduct of this project. And from the course code, this is very important point I want to emphasize to you. This is very, very important. From the course code, you can identify that this course is a level 7, 8 credit course. So level 7 is actually, according to the Sri Lanka qualification framework, it's a postgraduate level. It's actually postgraduate certificate level. So it's even a little bit above the undergraduate honors degree level. But let's assume it as undergraduate honors degree level. And 8 credits indicates the amount of work that you have to put in for the successful conclusion of this project. So according to the Sri Lanka qualification framework, SLQF, when you say it's 8 credit course related to related to a project, it means you have to put in 800 notional hours of work into your project for it to have a successful completion. Now you can imagine, you can understand very clearly how much of effort you will have to put into this project. This is not a simple task. 800 notional hours, or rather, let me say 800 hours of concentrated work related to this project will be required by you uh, to come to a successful conclusion of this project. So don't take this as a simple thing. You have to 800 hours of total time. Means how many now you have for your academic year, you have about 34 weeks. So you divide 800 by 34 per week, you can find out how much of work hours that you have to put in. Okay, I leave it up to you, but this aspect please keep in your mind. And there are some compulsory components of evaluation that are needed in the course of this project. Let me outline that also to you clearly. Number one, you have to formulate a proposal, project proposal, and submit it to the department for evaluation and accept. That is the first hurdle that you have to come through. Then you have two more hurdles before you get your eligibility to present yourself, your project, at the final examination. So these two hurdles are the first review seminar and the second review seminar. At both these events, there will be dates indicated, and you will have to submit an interim report for both these events and face presentation, right? Yeah. Face a presentation outlining the work on your research project that you have done up to that time. And so all the details about how much you should have completed by the first review and how much by the second review on so much like on a subjective basis, because you can't be really objectively calculating what percentage of work you would have done, but you must have in your mind that you have to present at these two review seminars or review events your progress or positive progress in your project. Now let me come to the point of what a engineering research project is. First of all, it has to be engineering. Secondly, it has to be a research. Thirdly, it has to be a project. Okay. So all three are taken into account. So engineering, I don't have to explain to you. What research is, something that has not been found yet. Because you have to do research. If you are to improve on a existing finding, to improve on it, not just to keep it at that level, or find a new thing, or show that some existing practice is wrong. Even that is a research, but you have to show it in the scientific way, right? So you have sort of three options in order to do your study. And also this research would involve you to extensively study the literature, the past literature or the past publication or past findings in your project area to find the research gap that you are going to address in your project. I think further details also Professor Dolage will explain to you. And then as a project, you have to do it with your own initiative. You will be the driving force. You will be the person who's responsible for the successful completion of your project, not your supervisor. Supervisor is only there, I have indicated earlier also, to guide you. So the total onus, I repeat, the total onus of conducting your project to a successful conclusion is with you. Because this project is there for you to show your maturity in engineering. Afterwards, most probably you will graduate and go into the field as an engineer. And you will be by yourself. You will be alone in taking decisions almost. And so that responsibility, that confidence for you to get that, we are training you in this project. Okay, right? So this is I have now indicated what the research project is, and I have indicated to you what the content generally would be. Now, the third aspect is for you to find a supervisor to guide you. Now, though we use the word supervisor means a person who will supervise you. That means who will follow you and see whether you are doing your job properly or something like that. But in this context, the supervisor is not for that purpose. It is a person, an academic from our department, who will guide you whenever you need some guidance. So I emphasize this point. You have to get the guidance from the supervisor. Supervisor will not come after you to tell you do this, do that, all these things. But after identifying your project, you should know what you should be doing at each step. And the supervisor will help you in going about that job. So I think I am making it very clear to you that the responsibility and onus of the project is with you. Right? So you have to go after the supervisor, you have to contact the supervisor and get the input of the supervisor as you need. And the deadlines, you have to keep the deadlines, right? But the supervisor will help you in these aspects. Okay, now selecting the supervisor, there are some limitations. Number one, due to the workloads imposed on the supervisors by having to supervise or guide the students in the project, we have decided in the department that each permanent academic staff member in the department can only supervise up to 5 students. Up to 5 students. So when you are seeking your supervisor, because the onus there is also with you to talk with the academic staff and select your supervisor and discuss with him your project title, what you intend to do, so many. It's actually discussion based decision later. So thus keep in mind, everybody can't have the same supervisor. The academic staff in the department actively, there are about 15 academic staff members in the department, 14 or 15, and each of them will have to share you. You have to share these academic staff members as your supervisors. So when you are trying to locate or identify your supervisors, don't only try few. You have to try if one supervisor says one prospective supervisor says that is overloaded, you have to try with others. Okay, right. Now I think leaving that, now I think there must be a question in your mind. We have published already our activity schedule. In the activity schedule, on the 26th, we had this meeting with the dean and the head and the staff. Now that I am holding you today, right? And there on the 2nd, you should have submitted the project. So this aspect, what has to be done in the future, how we are going to modify this activity schedule based on the present situation. I open it to Professor Dolage, and he will he's assisting me in coordinating this project. And so he will guide you on this aspects. I'll hand it over to Professor Dolage.
Thank you, Professor Balavat, for giving this brief introduction to the students. I think if you had a lot of doubts about the project, after listening to Professor Balavat's comments, you would have been able to clarify some of your doubts. I think I can see quite an impressive number of students have participated. In fact, Professor Pallavat, in his email, he would have mentioned this is a compulsory event. That means your participation is essential, because at this presentation, we are going to inform you very valuable information. But I think in this audience, among the students, there may be students who have already decided on a proposal. And there could be some students who have not actually still decided on a topic. So whatever the group that you belong to, this information which I am going to tell you will be useful. In the activity diary, you would have seen there is something called draft proposal due by 2nd of June 2023. But since we could not have this initial discussion with the head of the department, because I think the link didn't work, so we couldn't hold it. So because of that, and also we had to wait till the ad drop is also over. After that, we decided to give you all a date. Based on that, we are having this discussion today. Today is 7th, okay? But your proposal, draft proposal was due on 2nd of June, right? So because of all these issues that we had, we are going to give you a revised date. Can you please write down that? That is 14th of June 2023. That is basically next Wednesday is the last date available for you to submit the draft proposal, right? Anything that is submitted after that will not be accepted. You have solid 1 week from now onwards for you to prepare this draft proposal. So in that case, you will have to, I think department academics email numbers are there. Once you decided on a suitable date, immediately drop an email to that academic and ask whether that academic can be the supervisor for you. Professor Palwat mentioned that each supervisor this year, the department has decided can only supervise up to 5 students, right? But in case if the student numbers, when more students want to do project, in that case we will based on that increase. May that 5 may become 6. We will see. But we want all academics to uniformly supervise because there's something called supervisory effort. You see, so it requires a lot of effort to supervise the student. So when it is 5, it's 5 times more. So because of that reason, we have limit that to 5. But 5 might become 6, 7. We never know. At that stage, we will decide. According to the activity diary, there's another one called finalizing the proposal with the supervisor. Okay. So from now, those who have not developed the topic yet can from now onwards decided on a topic and based on that prepare a draft proposal, right? Submit that by 14th of June, that is next Thursday. In order for you to submit this proposal, you still need to have a supervisor. So once you decide on the topic, please write to the supervisor, get him contacted through the email and then write to him. Preferably in the sense you first drop an email and then meet the supervisor, right? And then submit your proposal, and then we will give you another 5 days. That is by 19th, right? Please write down that date because these are not available on the activity diary because these have been revised now. Finalizing the proposal with the supervisor. So you have to meet the supervisor on 19th. That is a Monday. Okay. Monday, you have to meet the supervisor and finalize the proposal. So I earnestly request you to adhere to these deadlines. 14th, one deadline, submission of the proposal, and finalize the proposal with the supervisor. That is 19th. Then your initial responsibility is over. So in this proposal, I expect you to write at least, maybe if you can manage it within 1 page, 1 to 2 pages would be sufficient, right? If you concisely write it, you might be able to write it within 1 page. But if you want to elaborate a little bit, might be 2 pages will be enough for you. That is the maximum, okay? In that one, you can give a small background to this study, why you are going to do this study, right? And finally, have an aim for this, right? And if you can go 1 step further and give your objectives also in this 1 or 2 page proposal. So there, the cover page can have the title of the proposed topic and supervisor's name, your name, your ID, your student registration number, course code, course title, all those details can go on to the front page. Okay. I hope you are writing down all these things. Yeah. At the top of the page, you write down all those details which will be useful for the for the department to administer your proposal. Yes, and we hope to conduct another presentation to give you details about how to write this progress review report 1, progress review report 2, and the final report. We will have about 1 or 2 presentations for you all for us to explain how these documents are prepared. It is the progress review 1 report gets developed into progress review 2 report, and then that will be developed into the final report. That is the one which you would submit at the end. For example, now in this proposal, when you are writing, if somebody is intending to do a research on using alternative material, okay, some kind of a material you going to use either to replace cement or replace fine aggregate or replace coarse aggregate. Please remember, I'm just giving you an example about a probable topic that you are going to select. You have to give a background to the material that you are thinking of using as an alternative material, right? What are its alternative uses already? What are they going to do with that material? Whether this material is available in abundance, in large quantities, and whether the project would be finally, in your opinion, cost effective. If it is not cost effective, just on the face value, then of course you should not do it. So that is about this thing. And also remember in this study, this particular topic that you are going to select should have to have some connection with at least 1 or 2 courses of your program, right? It should be related to the structural design or construction materials, geotechnical, soil mechanics, construction engineering and management. So some course it should have some relevance. Okay, your topic should be related to at least 1 or more than 1 courses. That is one way to identify the research topic, and it should involve either some kind of investigation, maybe laboratory tests, or some kind of use of a software program if it is structural analysis, or maybe it can be some kind of a survey, questionnaire survey, or whatever it is. So it has to have some kind of an investigation into some matter in the civil engineering field. At this juncture, I would like to ask my other colleagues who are in the audience, if I have missed any point, please chip in and explain it to the student, because it will be useful to the students, because you all have amassed vast amount of experience in supervising, examining students. So please join with me in explaining it to students. You are most welcome.
Yeah, I'm Indika Prananda here.
Yes, please.
Okay. Now I'm actually talking as academic coordinator of the CVX 61880, because now I think Monday evening I checked the number of this 7880 students. I found there are 69 students, and I checked with my last year recordings. Out of these 69, 58, only 11 students who did not follow this 6180, mainly those may be the old IC curriculum student, IC student, they don't want to follow the 6180 if they are going to complete within this academic year. Mainly I want to tell something about the topic. Now I think out of the 69, 58 students, theoretically they should have topics. But thing is, last time also I mentioned in the Viva and other sessions, some of those topics were very typical ones. That means most of them are replacing the material. Therefore, I think as a department, I think we took the decision also not to encourage students to do that kind of topics. And also students themselves realize that some topics even we have done under the 6180, but they cannot continue because due to some, as Professor Dolage mentioned, some due to issue the cost issue as well as some other issues also, they may not able to continue. But I know that with that student at least around 20-30 topics, according to my view, they can continue. But thing is, you have to discuss those with your future supervisors, and if they are agree only, you can continue. Otherwise, definitely you have to go for the new project. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Indikapanandu. Dr. Ganila, you might be having ideas. Dr. Kamal?
Yes, Professor Dolage, regarding the conduct of the research project,
Yes,
I would like to draw few attentions to few points.
sure.
Now, as you have correctly said, Professor, this is a 800 notional hour project.
Yes.
Now, our students who are enrolled for this project course must realize how to engage in this 800 hours. So they have to plan out their work for the entire given period. Let's say if it is for 8 months, they should demarcate their deadlines and they should plan out their work. What we have seen is that they don't come to see the supervisors sometimes. Then at the last moment they come running. So we may not able to help the students under such circumstances. So that is one thing I want to emphasize for students. So please make sure that you have planned out your work according to a work plan. Right? You have to plan your work from the beginning onwards. Then the other thing is that there are basic techniques they have to master doing a research. So they have to know what is a literature review and how to find a knowledge gap and how to establish objectives. So then the kind of techniques they should use to reference materials. Now these things they are supposed to master. I mean, we expect them to learn these things out of this research project. So they have to pay clear attention to these things. Then finally, I had to emphasize on the English that they are using to write the reports. We are not saying that we are perfect in English, but basically they must always try to make sure that they write it, present things in grammatically correct English. So they have to, at least it is better if they can use some service to edit their reports. Once the technical corrections are given by their supervisors, it is always better to do a English editing using some service, maybe asking from a person or using a software. So those are the things that I would like to emphasize at the moment for the time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ganila, for your important suggestions, emphasis on certain valuable points with regard to the conduct of the this engineering research project. He emphasized the commitment that you need, the student has to put in. That is about, you have to, I think by now repeatedly we have mentioned that you have to find 800 hours for this project. Right? It's not a simple task, as Dr. Ganila mentioned. You have to have time management in order to achieve this. Okay, and also he also highlighted supervisory meetings. You have to meet the supervisor on a regular basis. Okay, and get his guidance, and then as a result, you will be able to submit a very good report. And also he also emphasized about the English requirement. I repeated all those things because they are so important. So it will go into your mind very much. If any other academic who have supervised number of projects, now it's the time to share your experience and give some valuable tips to the students.
I am Kamal, Professor Dolage. Actually,
yes, please go ahead.
At this juncture, student actually should find the proposals. I mean, as we know, there are some students who have not found the proposal or supervisor there. So they should inform it to the Professor Pallewata, the academic coordinator of this course there. So then because we don't have time there. So still now we are in the 5th week. Now next week we have to submit the proposal. So you should
Next
get
Wednesday.
hurry day. So you should get hurry with. I mean, you have to inform. You ask
Yes.
one person, one academic. Then if he is filled, then you keep silent there. Then we don't know. So you should inform it to the academic coordinator there. And hurriedly you should finalize what you are going to do there. So then other thing we can do it later on. So we will have I think Professor Dolage is ready with some more presentations. So
Yes.
and
Yes.
other academics also are lined up. So then we can teach you. But at this moment, very important, finalize your proposal. So that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal. I think Dr. Kamal also gave very valuable information, and he emphasized on the submission of this proposal. Okay, so I think without wasting time, now onwards, you write the proposal, and also at the same time from the website you can get all the academics' email numbers. Once you are happy with the proposal, just submit it to him and get his input, and then make an appointment and meet him. And finally, by 19th of June, you have to finalize your proposal with the supervisor. I'm repeating those dates so that you will remember it well. And this proposal, don't expect to write more than 2 pages. You have to manage it within 1 or 2 pages, and give the background and what are you going to do under this project, and include your aims. Based on that, write your aim and objectives, and then submit it. I'm repeating once again, find a supervisor, right? Sometimes when you write a supervisor, he might say, already I have more than 5 students, so I have got 5 students, so I cannot handle. Then they don't get, without getting discouraged, write to the next supervisor. Likewise, you will be able to find a supervisor. I think basically we covered everything. Basically, if any other academic wants to add anything, please add.
Professor Dolake, can I add something?
Please, yes.
Yeah, this is not mainly about the, now I think 1/3 of you, I think you have registered after giving through the overwritten. I think Professor Pallavata has approved your request, and mainly by considering you are going to, that 1/3, you are going to complete the degree within this academic year. Therefore, for that, you have to not only the eligible, you have to pass this subject within that academic year. If you may not able to do that, definitely you are going to become a RC student, and because this is the last time we are offering, or we are allowing you to graduate under IC. I think most of you know that, but I want to exactly tell you. Other thing would be, therefore, now this time we have considered some concessions. Those that most of time, as an example, some of you have not got the fluid mechanics pass, but by considering other requirements, we have given this particular CVY 7880 for you. Remember, those are only valid for this academic year. If you are not able to complete, or if you are not even at least get to eligible of this CVY 7880, most probably those students, if you are not fulfilling that particular prerequisites, you may not able to register this course next year also, because these concessions are only valid for this academic year. That all of you have to keep in mind, not all, at least that particular group. As well as, finally, I want to add that this, as I mentioned, this is eight credit course. Therefore, we are hoping you should be able to, after this, you should be able to develop so many skills, not just 1 or 2 skills, the eight credit course. Mainly, I want to tell that now these days, your earlier batch, we are conducting the Vivas. Some of you, I got the experience yesterday. One student always try to speak in Sinhala. Therefore, always now you have another nearly 1 year. If you are not able to speak in English, you have to develop that skill also, because otherwise, if we are allowing them to you to speak in Sinhala, I think we are somewhat penalize some of the students who cannot speak Sinhala. Therefore, those kind of skills, not only that, most of the skills within that nearly 1 year you have to develop. Okay, Professor Dale.
Thank you very much for emphasizing on that, Mr. Indika. I think you listen to that. You have to master those skills during this 1 year, how to present your case, right? Sometimes you have to meet a lot of people with regard to your research. Whenever you get the chance, talk to them in English and practice it, because at the presentations, the progressive 1, 2, and final, you have to present your research in English medium. So that's another important aspect. And I mean, these kind of skills, if you master, you will find it very easy to get employment as well. Thank you very much. And our course coordinator for this course would be Mr. Binner. All his details, everything, we hope to include that in our Learn OUSL class for this. Until that time, how can we make his email address available? We will somehow put it onto the Learn OUSL class. Okay. Then thank you very much. I'll hand over the presentation to Professor Ballivat.
Well, thank you, Professor Dolege, and all the academics, Engineer Indika Fernando, Dr. Karunananda, and Dr. Parnamitana for their valuable inputs. So now I think you would be having a fairly basic idea as to what is expected in this project, right? I think you should be clear. Now I think I have in this Zoom meeting about 67 participants, and quite a lot of them would be our students, because there are maybe our academics also joined. So I think I cannot overemphasize. That means I have already mentioned to you, myself as well as Professor Dulagi and all other academics, the importance of this project, right? So this is your individual endeavor or individual exercise that you have to do in order to prove that you are a worthy engineer to be, right? If you do not succeed in that aspect, all your studies that you have done up to now may be in question. Okay, so don't make the mistake of taking this project lightly. This is something that you will have very less sort of probing or spoon feeding, and you'll have a lot of your own initiative to put in. Okay, so with that in mind, I will tell you some other aspects also. Something you have to start from today itself. All of you who are going to do the project will have to get a 80-page single rule book. You can take a CR book or a simple exercise book, that is okay. This book is your diary for the project. And each thing that you are doing each day, in respect to the project, you have to write down. And especially when you meet your supervisor or any other academic related to your project, when you do your experimentations or practicals in our laboratories or any other place, if you are meeting any engineers or any scientists related to your project, you have to write short notes of those encounters and their outcomes and any questions raised in that book in a very concise way. This will be your diary for the progress of the project. And this will be your hard copy that you will have for you to assist yourself to fulfill the RLL, that is the reflective learning log that you will have to fill on the LMS as you progress into your project. And this reflective learning log will carry 20% of your eligibility mark. So do not neglect that. So in order to fill the reflective learning log effectively, you have to have this hard copy of your progress or your steps, your endeavors, all written down on this 80-page exercise book. Okay. So today itself, you have to get that book and write on the cover CVY 7880 2022-2023. Okay. Then, I think Professor Dologe very clearly explained about your project proposal. Now let's see, let me add some things onto that. So he mentioned it clearly that it should be not more than 2 pages and preferably be 1 page. And in this 1 page, on top of it, your name, your registration number, your proposed supervisor's name should be there, as well as your proposed title of your topic should be there. And then you should have an introduction, very brief introduction about your topic, your aim in your study and objectives, and the methodology you are going to do the project with. So these are the 3 things that is needed: introduction, aim and objectives, and methodology. These are the 3 things that you have to address in your project proposal, right? So, yeah, and also, I think all of you would appreciate that there are a lot of students who are going to do this individual project. So each individual of you will be handled by one of the academics. So we cannot be wasting our time if you are not very serious about your project. So therefore, our deadlines from now on are going to be strictly implemented. Okay, so yeah, so I think Professor Dolage mentioned that your deadline for submitting your project proposal to the course coordinator. Now, I am the academic coordinator and the head of the Department of Civil Engineering. I am the academic coordinator of this project course. But there is a course coordinator, Mr. Binara, I think was mentioned by Professor Dolage, and he's the course coordinator. And you have to convey your project proposal in a printed version or through email. I think I would prefer if you can submit it in the printed version to Mr. Binara in the block number 2 of the Civil Engineering Department at the Colombo, or Navala, our main campus. So you have to submit that proposal by 14. They submit and then they meet the supervisor. Okay. So Professor Dolage asked me a question. That's why I was asking. So you have to submit your proposal. It's not a very difficult one. 1 page. That's what we are preferably asking you. 1-page document, preferably printed. Even if you have to write it by hand, it's okay, but it has to be very clear and neat handwriting, right? That is also okay. And you submit it to the course coordinator of CVY 7880 at the block 2, right? And this then even before that, you would have contacted your prospective supervisors, and you would have to agree with of one of the academics to be your supervisor, and you have to indicate also that on the proposal, preferably. If you could not have identified a supervisor up to the 14th of June, then you can leave the supervisor column or that line blank, but you will have to fill it between 14th and 19th by speaking with a prospective supervisor. Okay, so 19th is the date where you have to finalize. 19th of June, right? That's a Monday. 14th of June is a Wednesday. So before the end of that date, before the end of any of these dates, you have to have completed your requirement for that date, or that you have to meet the deadline. Okay. If you do not meet the deadline, especially at this proposal stage, as well as discussing with your supervisor stage, you may not be allowed to continue with the project this year. You will have to drop that the course before the drop date, or there is still now a drop has passed, and we are only left with the final drop date. So by that drop date, you will have to drop this course, the project. Otherwise, you will go as a person who has failed in that subject. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is very important, because now we are granting you, we are giving you, we are providing you with the responsibility of becoming real engineers, right? So you have to don't come to me or any other academics with excuses for not being able to submit the proposal on time, right? That I do not want to hear or accommodate. There may be so many problems, but you still have 1 week of time. If you have a very dire need, like you are in the hospital at this moment, and you will not be able to come out of the hospital before 14, something like that, still you ask somebody or yourself or somebody of your relatives to contact the post coordinator and get a clearance. Okay, right. Now I think I have indicated or practically all the strict requirements that you have to go through at this stage. Then, as we go on in the project, we will be mostly communicating about the project as the academic coordinator and course coordinators. We will be communicating with you through the LMS, that's the Moodle. So always pay attention, always be in touch with the Moodle course class for your updates. And also don't forget to once in a while check the FET 2023 faculty class also, because if there are any problems, we might even post some information on the faculty class also. Okay, so now I think we have given you most of the information. Now I give you the opportunity for anybody who's unclear about anything to ask myself as well as the other academics any question. Now I make it open to you. Yeah, I'm surprised that you don't have any questions. Obviously, I thought you'll have 1001 questions that I may not be able to handle even. but apparently everybody is silent. Why is that? Yeah, Nishant, you can speak. You can unmute your mic and speak. Yes. I think,
Professor, they can type it in the chat as well.
yeah, they can type it. I think there have been some chats that have been typed. So Engineer Indico Fernando has indicated that registration number to name also should be written. No.
So there is a question, sir, in the chat. You can answer that.
Yes. Where can I get the details of available supervisors and their email address? Okay, this is where, if you go to our website, OUSL website, and come to the department pages, you can get who are the academics who are available in the department, right? I think also students who have been involved with our studies for this time, I think would know also most of the academics by their names. So you can contact them. It is up to you, because if you are very far away, maybe you might be compelled to contact them through email or telephone. Or if you are close by, it will be better, more conducive if you can meet the academic and present your idea about what type of project you intend to do. Okay. Let me see. Are there any other messages? Yeah, that's the only message that I have. So, yeah, if you are reluctant to speak, then you can even type a message here. Okay. So any academic members, I might have missed some important points. If you have something in mind to tell the students, this also could be the time for that.
Yeah, sir, Indika,
Yeah.
one thing. Now I checked both the list, your list as well as CVX 6180 list. I found only one student who has registered for both the courses. I think it's somewhat unnecessary because if the particular person, if I remember name also, Kanendran or someone, yeah, if he is going to complete this degree in this academic year, I think he can drop the CVX 6180.
Yes, that's correct.
Of
Yes.
taking both, I think it is wasting your time also and as well as ours also.
Yeah, and also your money. I think what Mr. Fernando said is an important point. So any student who has registered for CVY 7880 ERP need not have concurrently registered for the CVX 6180, the literature review course. Okay, so that option is still available in this academic year, right? Okay, so I'm very sure that you would be having many questions in your mind.
Any question you can ask, no problem.
So ask them to raise the hand, those who have not found a supervisor.
Let me say that. Okay, one other thing is this: the participant list today is I'm keeping a record of it, who have participated today. And also, if you have any student who's registered who does not have a supervisor identified and agreed, maybe you can raise your hand.
There is
So
an
I can.
option in the Zoom to raise the hand, so they can raise it.
Yeah, they can. Okay, there's okay. Yeah, now hands are going up very quickly. Okay, so I can have a idea how many are without supervisors.
And also that's why I told her that if you are going to take a list, better to have their registration number. Otherwise, we are facing a trouble with just some
Yeah.
nicknames also there. Therefore, it's better we can change all of you, include your registration number also.
Registration number is very important when you are writing, and also write your name in full. Write your name in full, and also write your name with the initials, right? So we can and your registration number, so we can identify you very clearly. Don't write some other name that is not appearing in, generally in, under your registered name. So don't use part names. So then, because we have to identify you totally, right? Yes. So we have quite a number of students who are without supervisors, right? So now I think you had okay. That's yeah. Okay. You have to now check the website and get in contact through the email or through mobile or telephone with this prospective supervisor that we have in the department. I think they are all your lecturers at some time. And so check with them whether they can take you over. They might, one might agree based on the topic as well as, because I think it is better for a student to present him or herself to the supervisor physically, because then the supervisor will have a better feeling whether he's in a position to supervise that student or not. And also the topic, some clarity about the topic that you are going to do. If you can present that clearly to the supervisor, the prospective supervisor, you will have a better chance of that person agreeing to supervise you. Because finally, at the end of the day, every project student should have a supervisor, right? That is necessary. So that's what I wanted to emphasize to you. Okay. So now I can see that quite a lot of students are without supervisors, right? Yeah. Okay. So I feel that maybe the other students already have agreed with the prospective academics to be their supervisors. Okay. No, I can't count it now. Yeah.
Professor Palyata, I am Dr. Nadira.
Yeah, Dr. Nadira.
Yeah, I would like to make a notice on behalf of Dr. Chandana Kulasurya. I think
Yes.
some of the Dr. Chandana is somewhat new to our department now. Now,
Yes.
actually, some of the students have already met him, but he is expecting the confirmation from student side, because I think he had about more than 10-20 students have met him, but still because he wants some confirmation from student side, and he asks all the students who are discussed with him to send a mail if they wish to continue with the project with him. I want to make that notice. Yeah, for the student. I have already.
Actually, yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nadir. I think this applies not only to Dr. Chandra, to all of us also, right?
Yeah.
Any for if you are intending now, this for the students. If you are intending to get a particular academic as your supervisor, if the academic also has agreed, you have to confirm it with him that you are going to be his supervisor. You are going to be his student. Otherwise, he won't be able to take any other student because of the limitation. Okay, so don't be unfair with other students. Yeah, email confirming that that student is going to have that particular supervisor for the ERP. So send a email to that supervisor. The student, I am requesting the students, send an email to supervisor confirming that I'm going to be your student. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in my case, also actually I have got more than 5, and I have made the confirmation for 5 students. Therefore,
You
I
have got
think
the confirmation.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not able to take anyone beyond that. I believe as per the
Right.
department decision.
So I think the students now you know that Dr. Nadira is not available because he has already been fully booked, right? So likewise,
Professor, myself also, I can only take 4 this year.
yeah.
I have taken 4
How many?
to super 4. I can't go beyond that this year.
Ganila.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, right. So Dr. Ganila also is fully booked. Okay. So the students, I think you know Dr. Nadir and Dr. Ganila. Huh?
Palewata sir, I am Kamal. Actually, 5 people have told they would like to do research under myself, but I confirm about 3 people. So those who those who wish to, the 2 additional people. So please, I would ask them to send some mail there. Because I don't know sir, whether they are actually doing what or not there. So if they don't do it, then I can give 2 people.
Yeah.
There.
So today itself, actually, Dr. Kamal, I think what you would do is whatever the confirmations that you receive immediately, as soon as possible, you will take these students, right?
Yes.
So
Sir.
when your 5 students now already 3 are filled, you have 2 more vacancies. That's all, right? So when it is confirmed, your whole 5 will also be fully booked, right? Okay. So even Dr. Kamal. It's almost fully booked, almost. So I think the students, you get the message. You have to identify your supervisors and quickly get their consent. Okay. So do it most probably. If you have already discussed with some prospective supervisors, confirm it to them through emails immediately within today itself. So then they will not take any other student and drop you. Okay. So keep that in mind also, right? If you have already spoken with any supervisors. Okay, I think any other questions the students might have? I was expecting any messages. Okay, so then if that is the case, I think we can maybe conclude the
Sir,
session.
there is a question in the chat.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, there's one new one. Yeah. If my project proposal will not be accepted, then could I get extra time to go with the new project proposal? Yeah, that is okay. Now if your project now if your project proposal is not accepted, okay, you might get a short extension, but don't bet too much on it, because this cannot go on, because even the second proposal also might not be accepted. Things like that might happen. So you have to put an acceptable proposal quickly in consultation with a prospective supervisor. So these two combination is also very important. Because you'll be, if some supervisor agrees to supervise your particular topic, then you are in a better position than just presenting a topic without a prospective supervisor. Okay, so I think some sort of a discussion in your part and initiative is needed at this juncture for you to find a supervisor and a topic, both, right? So by 14, this should be over. Okay, by the end of the day, 14th, as a Wednesday of June, the selecting of the topics, selecting of the supervisors, everything should be over, right? So keep that in mind, and I think you have a big task now. Within this week, you have a big task to find locate your supervisor. You have to be very proactive in order to do that. supervisors will not come to you, right? You will have to go to the supervisors and present a good topic to them, so they will agree. It will be likely for them to agree. If you have a loose proposal, not very sure about it, and impractical, all these things will discourage a supervisor to accept you as a student. So keep that in mind, and you have a certain amount of time, about 1 week from now, but don't wait until that week. By today itself, or latest by tomorrow, you try to secure a supervisor for you. Okay, right. So I think if our academics, now we have about 68 participants here. So I have made a slight note about how many are without supervisors, right? About 1/3 or even a little less than 1/3 of students are without supervisors. So I don't think it's much of a problem at the moment. So take proactive action to find yourself a supervisor, right? So then I will, okay, there's another question in the chat. We have to submit the project proposal on the relevant date, 14th June or before. Yes, you have to submit the project proposal. I told you it is a single page document. If you are very far, because we prefer if the proposal is handed over printed version in person. You can send it through somebody else, or that doesn't matter, but printed version should be handed over to the project, the course coordinator, Mr. Binara, right, in the block 2. So if you are very far and you find it extremely difficult for you to send it physically here, you can send it to his email. You can find out the demonstrator email in our website, and then you can send that to an email. But that do that only if you it is extremely difficult for you to submit it physically, because it's always to your advantage if you submit it physically to the course coordinator before the 14th, before or on 14th of June. Correct? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Now, so, okay. So where I think now we can conclude this meeting for the moment, but it doesn't mean that the dialogues that we have to make between the students and the supervisors and the academic coordinators will have to go on, because this project is not an easy task to do. So lot of interaction is needed. Don't sleep on this project. Sleep means don't stay inactive on this project. Each day, each and every day is important for you when you are doing this project. So don't forget that exercise book I told you about. And most probably, I'm cautioning you now, if you do not have this book updated properly and available with you, you might not get the eligibility, right? So keep that in mind. All this is to make you work effectively for this project, not to tighten you or frighten you, but to make you work effectively on this project. Okay, then I think I can conclude this discussion. So this is a different thing that you'll have to do now. So start working on it immediately. So good luck, and hope to be in touch with you in the future also on this important aspect. Okay, so have a nice day. And also the academics who have joined, thank you very much for joining and your valuable inputs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
you.